Hi, I want to thank you for tuning in. This will be channel episode 8 of the my channel, The Truth of It All. As you see, I've been revealing to you the truth of it all and nothing but the truth of it all. I'll explain how I know all this down the road. See, I'm just talking to you. No notes, no pieces. I'm doing as many episodes as I can in one day before I just run out of steam. But I have so much to show you, and it all starts with one piece at a time. That's what we're going to do, 6, 7 minute increments at tops. So we just information. It's adjusted information. I can go back and figure out what I missed. I've done that once or twice already. I had to go backtrack a little bit, and that's just because I'm doing it live and I have no editing. And so forgive me for that, but I want it to be as real. I want you to see I'm being as real as possible. I'm not referring to notes. I'm not referring to anything. I'm just referring off the top of my head from what I saw and learned in my lifetime. With that said, where we left off last time, we were discussing the third Larbon, and we were in, I believe it was part 4. And part 4 was, we were discussing Virgo the Virgin and then Leo the Lion. So your child was a virgin at 5 and was Leo the Lion at 8, just like humanity was. Humanity got slam danced in the age of Leo. All right, you got it. Got slam danced in the age of Leo, so we buried all the megaliths thinking they were bad. And you'll find them all over the world. They were all over the world. No ifs, ands, or buts. You'll find them in Illinois and Indiana, and you'll find them in Romania, and you'll find them all over. South America, Africa, China. But most of them were buried because people thought that God was mad at us. Because they had the mistaken understanding, the populace did. Not the believers in on, but the rest of the populace believed that God did this to us on purpose. So that's where Western religion starts. The idea that God was vengeful and mean and mad. Well, things didn't get much better in the age of Cancer the Crab. Remember where we left off was around 9600, a global tidal wave washed away anybody who lived 50 miles within shore, and that's where we get the global stories of the cataclysm, of the flood. That's where they were all over the world, because it did happen. And the tidal wave, it sunk Antarctica permanently under ice. And there's well-preserved pyramids in time. That's where we're getting all of our modern technology from. Well-preserved pyramids that were frozen in time. Under the continent of Antarctica. Remember, Antarctica was not an island. It was a continent. Remember that. With that said, what happened in the age of Cancer the Crab? Well, think of a crab. Beware the dangers lurking in the waters of life. You ever walked in murky waters barefoot, you stepped on a crab, you got your toe pinked, you screamed deep with spastic. Well, beware the dangers lurking in the waters of life for humanity. And we'll get back to it in a minute. Let's go back to the individual. The individual gets 13. Following Fibonacci, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. We have religious services all over the world declaring a child an adult at 13. Why? Because at 13 they become a teenager. And when they become a teenager, they hit puberty, and they will experiment, whether you want them to or not, with sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And if you're not careful, they could do something to really mess up their future. A teenage pregnancy, a criminal record, a drunk driving accident, God forbid, an overdose, right? You could end your life during these danger years. You've got to be careful when exploring the outside world for yourself. You've got to be careful not to step on a crab. That's Cancer the Crab for the individual. For us, the sea levels rose 400 feet. And we have tales of flooding, the separate flooding that broke into inland below sea level waters. England at that time, up until this time, was connected to the mainland of Europe. It got separated during the age of Cancer the Crab. Beware the dangers of the waters. The sea levels rose 400 feet. Half of the land, the habitable land that humans occupied, is now permanently underwater for the rest of humanity. So beware the dangers lurking in the waters. It happened. But there were several flooding incidents. Not only did we have the flood in 9700, we had a separate flood in 7700. Go look at the geological and climatological records yourself. The sea levels rose to a breaking point. The Mediterranean Sea was now something like 300 feet higher than the Bosporus Strait. The Black Lake. Remember that Black Lake that was the size of New Jersey? Well, it's 300 feet below the Mediterranean Sea, and the wall gave way, and the Bosporus Strait opened up, and about 300 feet of water poured into the Black Lake, turning it into, not the Black Sea we know today, because there was another flood after that even, but it turned it into a much larger It went from the size of New Jersey to the size of Florida. Like it did like 19 New Jerseys in Florida. There were still woolly mammoth tools found in the old waters, at the old lake shoreline. Woolly mammoth tools tells you when they went under. When woolly mammoths were still here, 7,700. But it's about the last, we would have had them as relics. They would have been ancient artifacts. Woolly mammoth tools, they would have been ancient artifacts to the people living at the time. But we found them at the old lake shoreline. That's the Noah's Ark flood, ladies and gentlemen. That's Noah. It was a deluge. A deluge isn't just a rainstorm. That wall broke open, water got into the magma chamber and it exploded and blew a hole open in the wall, and the wall of water washed all the way to Mount Ararat, 350 kilometers away from the old lake shoreline. That's a big flood, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Noah's Ark went there. It's just to tell you they went to Ararat, not that you're going to find the Ark there. But it's going to tell you that that's how far the flood went. And that's the Noah's Ark flood. But you know, in the Epic of Gilgamesh and other writings, there were many flood tales by different areas being affected by permanent changes to the environment. And during this age, it was the most deadly age for mankind. Not only did we all die from these floods and our land displaced, we had now waterborne disease. We had disease we never had before. We had cancer. Our most horrible disease was now named after the age. That's why we call it cancer. Remember, from each zodiac age, I should have mentioned that. We'll get into it when we get deeper. Each zodiac age, we have a remnant. Maybe let's stop now, and I'll do it right now. In the age of Capricorn, we have the idea of calling children and baby goats descendants of kids. That's the oldest phrase we have. Calling children and baby goats kids goes all the way back to the age of Capricorn. And each age has a separate remnant. For the age of Taurus, the bull, we have the bull horn. For the age of Aries, the ram, we have the ram's horn. Okay? You'll see. We have remnants for each one. But anyway, so the age for Cancer, the crab, is the crab. And for the individual, it's going to 13, going to the danger years. And that will last, again, going to Fibonacci. The next stage of life will be, right, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. The next one will start at 21. Okay, and the same thing for humanity. We'll start the age of Gemini around 6,000 BC. We started Cancer around 8,000. We started Leo the Lion around 10,000. We started Gemini, the rebuilding, around 6,000. All right, so tune in. We'll start then. All right, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you for episode 9. Bye.